Imagine a city with no streets, no doors, and fire worship inside every home. This is not a myth. This is Çatalhöyük. 9,000 years ago, long before the first pyramids were even conceived, before empires and kings ruled the land, humans built one of the strangest and most fascinating cities ever discovered. Deep in what is now modern-day Turkey, in ancient Anatolia, lay Çatalhöyük. This wasn't a city in any sense we understand today. It was a sprawling, tightly packed honeycomb of mud brick houses, all clustered together with no space between them. There were no streets to walk down, no alleyways to explore, and most strikingly, no front doors. So how did people get inside? They entered their homes from the roof. Each house had an opening in its ceiling, and residents would climb down a wooden ladder to enter their living space. Imagine a whole city of people navigating their world by walking across the rooftops of their neighbors. It was less like a city and more like the hive of a lost, forgotten civilization, a collective organism where public and private life blended in a way we can barely comprehend. The rooftops were the social hub, the place for work, play, and community interaction, while the home below was a private, sacred sanctuary. Inside these windowless homes, a different world came to life, illuminated by the constant, flickering glow of hearths. Fire wasn't just for cooking or warmth. It was sacred. It was the heart of the home, the center of daily life and ritual. The walls of these houses tell a story of their own. They weren't bare mud brick. They were canvases painted with vibrant murals of hunting scenes, geometric patterns, and powerful animals. The most prominent of these was the bull, a symbol of immense strength and virility. The walls were plastered and repainted year after year, sometimes up to 100 times, creating layers of history and art within a single dwelling. But it wasn't just paintings. They built altars directly into the walls of their homes. Fires burned continuously for rituals we can only guess at. And at the center of this complex spiritual world, evidence points to the worship of a powerful mother goddess. She was the symbol of life, death, and rebirth, the ultimate source of fertility and abundance. The people of Çatalhöyük didn't go to a separate temple to worship. Their homes were their temples. Every house was a shrine, every family a congregation. This fusion of the domestic and the divine is what makes Çatalhöyük so utterly unique. Excavations have unearthed countless clay and stone figurines that give us a glimpse into their beliefs. Alongside the goddess, the bull cult was just as powerful. The skulls of massive wild bulls, their horns still attached, were not just displayed. They were incorporated into the architecture of the homes. They were set into walls, embedded in benches, and arranged as pillars, creating an intimidating and awe-inspiring atmosphere. It was about fire, fertility, and power. Çatalhöyük was more than just a place to live. It was a living temple, a breathing monument to a belief system that governed every aspect of existence. Then, after nearly 2,000 years of continuous occupation, something happened. The people of Çatalhöyük vanished. The city fell silent. Archaeologists have found no signs of a great war, no evidence of an invasion that wiped them out. The end came quietly. The final residents carefully cleaned their homes, filled them with soil, and sealed the entrances from the roof, as if putting the city to sleep. All that was left behind were the burnt altars, the silent clay figurines, and the empty homes entombed by time. So why did they leave? The mystery endures. Was it a dramatic shift in the climate that made farming impossible? Was it the depletion of resources? Or was it something more ritualistic, a deliberate, planned abandonment of a sacred site that had served its purpose? Perhaps it was a gradual migration, a slow draining of life from the city over generations. Or maybe it was a reason we haven't even begun to understand, a spiritual crisis or a societal collapse that left no physical trace. The silent departure of Çatalhöyük's inhabitants is one of archaeology's greatest unsolved puzzles. The discovery of Çatalhöyük completely rewrote the story of human civilization. Before its excavation, the common belief was that agriculture led to cities, which then led to complex social structures, religion, and art. But Çatalhöyük turns that idea on its head. Here was a massive, highly organized settlement with incredibly rich art and complex religious beliefs, all thriving long before the rise of kings, priests, or a ruling class. It proved that civilization did not begin with hierarchy and power, but with community, belief, and shared ritual. It began with fire. Çatalhöyük shows us that thousands of years ago, people were capable of creating a complex, egalitarian society centered around art and spirituality. They were pioneers of urban living, innovators of social organization, and keepers of a faith so powerful it was built into the very foundations of their homes. And even today, as archaeologists continue to peel back the layers of earth, the secrets of this incredible city still burn brightly beneath the soil, waiting to be rediscovered. If forgotten civilizations and the mysteries of our ancient past fascinate you, subscribe now and join us on our next journey, because history always hides more than it reveals.